Is it possible to be gay and conservative? Now, I always thought the answer to that question was, duh, you don't have to be straight to vote straight Republican. But Cliff Kincaid of Accuracy in Media says gay conservatives are Marxist infiltrators and that it was a huge mistake to decriminalize homosexuality. And now I say, huh? I'm Steve Green. This is Trifecta. And let's bring on Scott Ott and Bill Whittle and get right into this one, please. Gents, it's not just one man at one half-forgotten Washington organization. Star Parker, and this breaks my heart a little because I supported her run for Congress, and I find her personal story to be just inspiring. But she came right out and said that gay conservative is an oxymoron. And just last year, she compared gay marriage to slavery, of all things. Scott, how can we win elections when we have some of our own candidates and think tank people telling chunks of the electorate that they don't even exist?
Well, first of all, Steve, I don't think you should be so judgmental against Cliff Kincaid and Star Parker. I mean, after all, they were born that way. It wasn't a choice. The way they feel, the way they think, the way they behave is just a product of thousands, perhaps millions of years of genetic alteration of their DNA. So I don't know why you're coming down on them so hard. But, you know, the funny thing is, we can get all hot and bothered about somebody who disagrees with us within the party. And somehow, I don't know where the line is between, hey, it's okay to say this and have an open debate about it, and the line that says, oh, no, that's no longer permissible speech. Frankly, I say let Star Parker and Cliff Kincaid say what they wish, and let you and Bill and me say what we wish as well. And let's have an open, vibrant debate, unlike the one that they're having in the Democrat Party, which has been shut down years ago.
Well, I don't want to shut anybody out either, but I think when you're telling people they don't exist, that is the ultimate kind of a shutout. Bill, I think there's plenty of room on the right to disagree about gay marriage and other social issues. We've got a big tent here. And in fact, we've got some disagreement right on this show. But I wrote a short response to Kincaid's piece that at last count had generated more than 230 comments, and many of those comments were from people saying they just don't want gays to be on the right. Now, I hate to throw around accusations of bigotry, but what else do you call that?
There's nothing else to call it. That's what it is. Every time you have, whenever you hear one person say that an individual can't think something or be something because of who or what they are, that's bigotry. You know, we have arguments on this show about ideology and about philosophy and so on. But to say there's no such thing as a gay conservative is just not, well, first of all, it's just wrong, just factually incorrect. Secondly, it's offensive and it's obnoxious. And third, it deserves to be smashed. It deserves to be counteracted as forcefully as possible. I was up in Ottawa a couple weeks ago at a conference led by Preston Manning, who started the Reform Party up there. And he said, as conservatives, we value free speech, as we do. And I'm not saying this guy doesn't have a right to say what he wants to, Star Parker either, rather. But what he said was, if I am a member of a party, of a political party, and I say something that crosses the line, it has now impinged upon the other members of the party who are held to be believing the same thing. And that's not fair to them. And so he said, if you're dealing with a political party, you have to absolutely condemn the kind of speech you think crosses the line. I agree. A debate about gay marriage is one thing. To say there's no such thing as gay homosexuals, or to say there's no such thing as gay Republicans, or to say that gay people are automatically Marxist, it's a slur. It's a slur, and I utterly condemn it, and I think it's disgusting, and I think it's reprehensible, and I'd be happy to make this statement as many times as you'd like me to make it.
Indeed, I might ask again. Scott, nobody is going to mistake me for a biblical scholar, but I do seem to recall Jesus dining with publicans and sinners, so can you imagine any good reason why a Christian can't share a voting booth, even just metaphorically share a voting booth with a gay man or woman?
Well, as you know, we're not physically allowed to share a voting booth with anybody. That's a violation of election law. But I think that in general, you've got the right notion. I mean, if in a context of Christianity, if we want to reach people with the gospel of Jesus Christ, hanging out inside the church building with a bunch of professing believers is not the way to go. If you want to reach people who don't know Jesus, go where people don't know Jesus. If you want to reach people who have not yet fully embraced whatever your particular perspective on republicanism is, then open up and welcome those people in and involve them in discussion and debate, befriend them, show them respect and dignity, and give them an opportunity to hear what you stand for.
That's right. As my friend Stacey McCain likes to say, you don't build a winning coalition by a process of subtraction. Bill, I think what you said is true. It's vital that we police our own, to call out bigotry even when we find it on our side. But to be completely fair, aren't Kincaid and the others stealing a line from the left where it's received wisdom that you can't be gay and conservative, or you can't be black and conservative, or you can't even be a real woman and be conservative?
Precisely. Precisely. That's the kind of bullying and intimidation on the left that I despise. When I hear it on the right, it's got to be destroyed. It's got to be, he's a jackass. There's nothing else for it. It's not a nuance of opinion. When you say that you cannot be gay and conservative at the same time, and that if you are gay, you're a Marxist, you're just being a jackass, Steve. And that's what he is. He's a jackass. He needs to be called a jackass on a daily basis. Hey, jackass, you're wrong. You're a jackass. I have a lot of gay friends who are conservatives, and they think you're a jackass. So go ahead and have your jackass opinion all you want to, and state your jackass opinion freely. It's a free country. There's a lot of jackasses in America. But that doesn't mean we have to sit still and put up with it. It doesn't mean that for a second. And I'm all about open debate, with jackasses or otherwise. But it's absolutely factually untrue, and it cannot be condemned strongly enough.
And don't forget that for just $19.95, you can have Bill Whittle's Wordmincer 2000. Folks, yeah, I don't want to end this by calling anybody any names. Instead, just a reminder for you, there were many reasons that Byzantium, the old eastern half of the Roman Empire, fell to the Turks. But one of them isn't really widely known. Now, as Turkish might grew, thousands and thousands of Greeks, year after year, entered monasteries and nunneries. They retreated from the real world to devote their lives to prayer that God would somehow save Byzantium from the Turks. They excluded themselves from the cause, and it didn't take many generations of that before there simply weren't enough Greeks left to defend their empire, and Byzantium fell. Now we have Americans who look at the culture around them, and they don't like everything they see, and so they enter monasteries of the mind. See, to claim that gays or anyone can't be conservatives is also a retreat from the real world. They're excluding others from their cause, and it won't take too many more elections like that before there aren't enough conservatives to defend this country. Will America fall? For PJTV, I'm Steve Green.